This is the funny, circular thing that we're ready to say to you finally. We want you to not care about the manifestation so you can get better manifestations. Isn't that screwy?
Yeah.
That's sort of where everyone is. So, okay, I get it, Abraham. I have to ignore these manifestations, trusting that I put all kinds of good stuff in my vortex that I can't get to as long as I'm looking at these manifestations. But if I can get into the vortex, then the vortex will affect the manifestations. So what are we saying? What we're saying is you're supposed to have really good manifestations. We're saying it's perfectly brilliant and wonderful to look at everything that is pleasing you and use it as your basis of vibration. We're not trying to separate you from your reality, from your manifested reality. We're trying to help you create a pleasing manifested reality. So what are we really saying? Just don't look at the stuff that doesn't feel good. When you look into what is, and you're looking at the birds, and you're looking at the ocean, and you're looking at the beautiful sky, and you're looking at the magnificent world you are living in, and you're looking at the beautiful people, and looking at the beautiful children, and listening to the comedy and the music and all of the wonderful things that surround you, you're looking at manifestations, and you're utilizing manifestations to align you with the vortex. In other words, this is the thing that we really want you to hear. We're not off in Never Never Land. We're not sitting on the clouds with our feet dangling over the edge. We're not some nebulous mist. We are involved in every intricate detail of your delicious manifestations. That's why they feel so good to you. We're right there, listening to your beautiful melodies, listening to the rapture in your heart. We're right there with you in your orgasms. We're right there with you in your taste buds when you're eating all of that delicious food. We're right there with you, right there with you, right there with you. We're not trying to get you to be other than this manifested genius out here on the leading edge that you are. We're not trying to separate you from that. We want you to be that. We just want you to spend less time in the contrasting parts that are depriving you then of the manifestation that is coming. Is that clear? Vortex first, then manifestation follows. Vortex first, then manifestation follows. So as you're exploring all of these things and talking about the things that you were talking about, social injustices or things in the world that aren't working as well as you would like them to, still your optimism is so supreme because you largely know that you're here for improvement. And so poking around in the problem is known by the whole of you as part of the improvement process, part of the joyous creative process. So the emphasis that you feel, the majority of what you feel, is the aliveness, the social interaction, the co-creative dance, the brilliant minds coming together, the insights that are occurring to you. Your inner being, here's a good way of saying it, your inner being will come to the party, will come to the debate and make you brilliant, even if you're talking about the side of the proposition that you don't want to support.
Totally.
Isn't it interesting? Because that's the game you're playing. In other words, in this game, I'm going to take this discussion to a whole new level, and I'm going to make them see something that they've never seen before, and I have the resources to do that. In other words, my inner being, does that mean, yes, we're having a little party here on our own. Does that mean that my inner being would actually help me in the promotion of a step one moment? Yeah. Would it? Would your inner being actually help you to get clearer about what you don't want as in a debate so that you can give birth to what you do want? Really? Now, we haven't been there before, have we? In other words, this manifestation, this fullness of who you all are. In other words, this whole conversation is you can't get it wrong and you never get it done. And as long as you're feeling mostly fun and joy about what you're doing, then keep doing it that way, you see.
Totally.
We don't ever want you to say, oh, I study this spiritual stuff.
Yeah.
Which means it's like being a vegan.
Yeah.
We love you very much. But you're so pure about what you eat, you're not eating anything that tastes good. And we don't want you to be such a purist in your thoughts that you're isolating yourself off into this corner where I'm a spiritual person, and so I should not be having that thought. And we say, a lot of those thoughts lead to other thoughts and other thoughts. It's like saying I'm an artist and I will deprive myself of most of the mediums that are available to me because I disapprove of them in this way and this way and this way and this way. And we say, then you're going to miss out on a lot of the delicious, magnificent things that you will be creating if you deprive yourself of the resources of creation. There's a tendency to think that I should do it. And the question always should be, do I want to do it? And the reason that do I want to do it is such a good question is because your inner being has very strong opinions about what is wanted by you, because you've been putting the pieces of it over there into your vortex, and your inner being stands as the full knower of what you want to do. So if you are letting your desire lead you, and so it led you to that, but it will lead you beyond that, and it will lead you beyond that, and it will lead you beyond that, and it will lead you beyond that. You can't stand still very long anywhere because your expansion is rapid. So if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would be milking our current reality for every delicious thing that we could focus upon. We would be making lists of positive aspects. We would be doing rampages of appreciation. We would be doing anything and everything that we could do to extract a keen awareness, a sharp, specific awareness in ourselves right here, right now, of the beauty of that which is. But if we find ourselves in a moment where the beauty isn't dominant, where the beauty isn't compelling, where the beauty isn't even seeable because of what we are focused upon, then we would not try to wring it from the manifestation. We would instead find our way into the vortex, the emotion of feeling, knowing that if you can do that, that the vortex will then give you immediately a more pleasing manifestation. And at first, the manifestation will be emotion. Next, it will be trains of thoughts will begin to come. Ideas, inspiration. Next, it will be others collaborating. Next, it will be heaven and earth moving to accommodate you in whatever you want. In other words, there's no limit to the details that manifestations will bring. So that leads us to what we talked about just before segment of refreshment that we were really wanting to talk about. Because every moment that you are conscious, you have this abiding awareness, you cannot get away from it, of your relationship between who you really are and all that you've become and how much you're letting in. In other words, in every moment you're having a manifestational emotion, an emotion that is a manifestation in every moment. If you're bored, it's a manifestation and it's telling you about this relationship. If you're excited, it's a manifestation in this moment that's telling you about this relationship. If you're fearful, it's a manifestation that's telling you about this relationship. In other words, you can't stop having a feeling, can you? Isn't something that you say constantly how I feel? Well, I feel this or I feel that. Aren't you aware of how you feel? I feel tired. I feel happy. I feel bored. I feel hungry. Well, hungry, that's a little different. I feel these emotions. I feel all day long. I feel bored at work. I feel uninspired at work. I feel inspired. I feel happy. I feel happy in talking to you. I feel unhappy in talking to you. I feel frustrated in this conversation. I feel exhilarated in this conversation. I feel. You do. You're feeling. You're having those feeling manifestations all day, every day. All day, every moment that you are conscious, you're having this awareness of this relationship, this vibrational relationship. So when you get it, that this manifestation is happening constantly and that you have much more leeway and latitude in how you feel than just observing what is, now you've got it. Now you're free. That's one of the things that many who have been practicing this deliberate creative process that we are teaching, you're hard on yourselves when things are not in every red hot minute pleasing you in just the way you want them to be. And yet it's the opposite of what we've been trying to extract from you in all this conversation. We want it to be all right with you to have a step one experience. The creative process, the joyous expansion process, the eternally becoming who we are process is step one, ask. And you cannot ask without variety. You cannot ask without contrast. Well, we've got to give it to you. You are in a more dicey position because we're asking you to explore the contrast so that you know what you don't want, so that you know what you do want. And then we're saying, as soon as you know what you do want, give your undivided attention to that. And yet you're all living the reality, and the reality is sort of, it's intoxicating. When you can see it and hear it and smell it and taste it and touch it, it gets your attention. And we are almost at the place, and we will be very soon, maybe even in the next moment or so, where we can say this to you in the way that you've been wanting to understand it for a very long time. So we're just going to feel around in here until Esther finds the words that express this powerful blending of why I live in contrast, why I would be willing to live in contrast, and how it fits into the greater picture of all of this. So the contrast helps you to expand. But the contrast also keeps you from taking the expansion.
Yeah.
That's why we say it is so infuriating to you to have something going on, a relationship or something going on that causes you to want something more than you've ever wanted. But the very thing that's going on is distracting you from the vibration that you need to reap the reward that you're asking for. So it is our desire, as we are moving through the hours that we are together today, to remind you that you have control of your emotions. Now, many would say, how? And many more would say, why? Why would I want to control my emotions? And we say, because it's your in-the-moment life experience. We want to say, why would you not? Why would you not rather feel good than bad in any moment? And most of you would say, well, when you put it that way, of course we would rather feel good than bad. In fact, everything that anyone wants, no matter what it is, a material object, a pile of money, a relationship, an improved condition, everything that everyone wants is because they believe they would feel better in the having of it. No exception. So at very clear, deep levels, you understand that you want to feel good. You just don't yet know that you can always feel good. So we want to approach this emotion which is central to your moment-to-moment life. We want to approach it from a new framework today. Many times you come to these gatherings because you do want to gain control over your life experience. And if you've been listening to us for a while, you've been hearing us say, might want to give that control up. Because the control that most humans are trying to affect is control of conditions. If I could just control that condition, then when I look at it, I would have a good feeling, knee-jerk response to it. Because good conditions evoke good feelings from me, while bad conditions evoke bad feelings from me. So most humans are really going about it the hard way, the impossible way, trying to control conditions. We want you to realize that since everything that you want is because you think you will feel better in the having of it, we want you to realize with us here today that the primary manifestation that you are looking for, moment by moment by moment, what you're really trying to create, is an emotion right now that feels good. That's why you want to go to a movie that moves you, or to a movie that thrills you, or to a sporting event that makes you feel good. That's why you want to hang out with friends that are uplifting. It's why you want to go places that are inspiring. It's why you want to go on a vacation. It's why you want that new house. It's why you want to drive that car. In other words, you want those experiences because you want to feel good, and you believe that some of those experiences, if you are able to create them and control them, will cause you to feel good. And we don't disagree with any of that. We know that there are many wonderful feeling experiences that you are seeking because you want to feel good. We just want, by the time that you are leaving this room today, to have convinced you that the primary manifestation that you are looking for, and we are using this word specifically and powerfully, we want you to accept with us that the primary manifestation that you're looking for is the manifestation of feeling good. It's the emotional manifestation. And if we can convince you of that, we know that you get it conceptually. But if we can convince you of that, and then further if we can convince you, and we are really in the convincing mood, so come along with us. If we can convince you that not only is the manifestation of emotion the manifestation that you're really looking for, but that it is something that you can control. You can control your mood manifestation. You can control your attitude manifestation. You just got to understand how it works. And you got to care enough about how you feel to be willing to direct your thoughts in places that do cause the manifestation that feels good, and then you've got it. Once you figure this out, once you accept that the way you feel is in your control, and is, after all, what you have been here in the process of creating all along. Then as you begin to deliberately direct your thoughts and discover the delicious alignment that is possible at all times,